Thanks for joining us, Stephen. I know it's quite busy at the moment with the new baby. How is little Theo and Kayla?
Yeah, no, they're both doing brilliant. To be honest, it's nice to be home and have a few days home before I've got a few exhibitions planned this coming week. So it's nice to just be home and be around them and do my duties as a dad. To be honest.
I mean, it's a really busy time of the year, isn't it? Obviously, you've got the new baby on the way, but we've just had the Players' Championship final. You mentioned the exhibitions. We've had the Slam and then the World. So how do you have that right balance between spending that time at home, but also staying sharp and preparing for the big one at Ali Pali?
I think you need to find the balance. To be honest, obviously with having a young child into the world now, I've got to get my priorities right. I still need to put the practice in between as well, and I'm still not shying away from my responsibilities of being a dart player. I'm doing a few exhibitions and stuff, but yeah, when I'm at home, I'm trying to do as little as possible on the board and being really hands on as a dad. And then obviously I've got these exhibitions as well, which is going to keep me topped up. And then a few weeks, obviously, before the Wales, I've got a few days. I need to book in with Luke Humphries, maybe do a little bit of practice with Luke Littler as well, and yeah, get myself 100% ready for that first game at Ali Pali.
I mean, you can't really ask for two better practice partners than Luke Humphries and Luke Littler, can you? I mean, how did that come about? I know you and Luke Littler are not too far away, but I know you mentioned at the Slam that you and Luke Humphries are going to start practicing together. So how did that arrangement start?
Yeah, I think obviously over the past few years, I'm respected more as a dart player now. Just the form I'm playing consistently wise as well, and obviously over the past I've practiced with Nathan Aspinall as well, and I think we just slightly talk when we've been practicing at the venues and stuff. And yeah, we both decided it was a really good idea. Obviously, we can knock 10 bells out of each other on the practice board. And yeah, I think it'll help not just me, I think it'll help Luke as well. And obviously, to have that consistent practice partner who you can take your level to another level, to be honest. Yeah, I think it can only benefit us both. And I think we're set to meet in the quarterfinals in the Wales. So yeah, we'll be all friendly going into the Wales, but maybe not when it comes to the quarterfinals.
Amazing that you said there that you feel you're more respected as a dart player. It was quite a few years ago now that I remember you saying one time that in an interview when you were rocking up to Pro Tours, you feel that people were laughing behind your back and you were at an all-time low. Can you quite believe that journey that you've been on from that moment to being now practicing with a world champion, but also a major winner yourself?
Yeah, no, back in the day, 3 years ago now, when it was, and I was in the doldrums, and yeah, I really didn't see a way out of it. It was sort of last chance saloon with sports psychology and hypnotherapy, and it really has brought me back to loving the game. And even in defeats, I can see positives now. I know how good I can be. Obviously, winning that majors took a massive monkey off my back as well, and it's given me a bit of freedom in these TV tournaments. So I'm looking at going into the Worlds full of confidence, really looking forward to it. And I'm not going to put no expectations on my shoulders. I'm just going to go in there with a free hit and try and do my best. Obviously, people are talking about Premier League and stuff, but that's the last thing on my mind at the minute. I'm fully focused on the World Championships, and I'm doing a job while I'm there.
You mentioned there that you've seen a sports psychologist. Do you feel like you're almost a trailblazer there? Because we are seeing that more and more. We know Dimitri talks about it an awful lot. We spoke to Cameron Menzies at the Players' Championship finals, and he was looking at getting a sports psychologist maybe. Do you feel like that's going to be more prevalent as the sport continues to grow? Because before it used to be you go from the pub to being a professional, whereas now it seems like a real more professional environment with youngsters coming through, and it really is an elite sport now, especially with the money being earned.
Yeah, I think at the time it was a little bit of a niche, and obviously there's a lot more people using it now. I can see signs from certain players pulling their socks up or touching, having a picture in the darts case and stuff. Triggers that reset your brain and stuff. But yeah, I would say to anyone, listen, if even if you are on the top of your game, you definitely still need to go down them routes, because obviously when you're on the tour, it's so thick and fast. Anything can change in a flick of a finger. So yeah, you always need to look outside the box to try and improve. that was just one way that I looked at doing it. It really helped me. Obviously, the other big thing for me was changing the weight in the darts, going up to from 12 to 18, which really helped as well. And going back to the psychology and the hypnotherapy, I think it's really important. Obviously, I still do the hypnotherapy now once a week. Just my sleep has never been better. And just like I said, taking the positives from every game, whether it be a win or a loss, and then pushing forward and trying to improve on each performance that I do.
What do you make of your year so far? It's been a bit of a mixed bag. There have been a few early exits in TV competitions, but of course, we've mentioned that Masters win the first PDC major, up to world number 8, and 6 finals on the Pro Tour as well.
Yeah, I think I've been really consistent on the floor, to be honest. The best years I've had on the Pro Tour the last few years, really consistent, averaging around the 100 most of the time. I think my season average is 97. Percentage wise on doubles is 40%, I think. So I'm doing really well on the floor. TV, I've had a few tough draws, to be honest. Anderson, Humphries, just to name a few.
It's not great, is it?
Yeah, and then I had the group of death at the Grand Slam. So yeah, I think I've had difficult TV draws. But obviously I still back myself to win them games. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, that didn't happen. But like I said, I've taken positives out of every game these days. And to come through that group of death at the Grand Slam was a massive achievement. Obviously, running out then to Gary Anderson, but I started that game slow. But the game's in a great place. Obviously, I'd like to do better on the TV, but I've still got one big tournament left, and let's have one massive push towards that.
And you mentioned that big tournament. You said that you could face Luke Humphries in the quarter-final. I'm sure you've looked at who you would face in round 2. Kai Goddard from Germany or Alan Suter. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that one? Alan Suter didn't qualify last year, but he's back in it this year.
Yeah, no, Suter's a really good friend of mine. Really good player on his day. He won a Pro Tour as well last season. So, yeah, he'd be going in full of confidence. And Kai Goddard, I watched him a few times. He's a very good player as well. So the difficult part for me is not knowing who I'm going to play. So I can't really prepare for any special player. I've just got to prepare my own way, make sure that my game's A+, and I'm sure my A+ game will win that tie. But I need to make sure I'm 100% focused, committed, and ready for that tie. But like I say, they are 2 difficult opponents, and I need to make sure I'm ready.
Have you got a preference? Because I know a lot of people have said recently that they hate playing their friend on stage, and that it's a really difficult game to prepare for and playing knowing that they could potentially be dumping out one of their close friends.
No, not really, because on the same context that I'd like to see him win his first game because he is a friend. So I've not really got a preference. Obviously, if I've got to play him, there's no friends on the stage. We could be as friendly as we want off it, but like I said, with the Luke Humphries situation, we are really good pals. But when we get on the stage, we want to knock lumps out of each other. That's just the way it is in darts or in any elite sport. But as soon as the winning double goes in, we'll turn around and shake each other's hand, and we'll still be friends. But for them, half an hour, whatever it may be on the stage, we want to win, and we're born winners, and that's the aim of the game, isn't it? I've got to provide for my family, and the friendlies go out of the window, to be honest.
Stephen, last year I was in the arena when you had your walk on, and I mean that reaction that I've seen from the crowd, people singing along, chanting "Let's go Bunting mental." I mean, I've not seen a reaction like that in an awful long time. Number one, I was expecting something like that again, and 2, is it hard just to keep the emotions in check? Because when you've got that support behind you and you've got a big game on stage, it must be really hard just to keep everything together and stay calm.
Yeah, no, 100%. Obviously, we tried to get the "Let's go Bunting" mental chant for the last few years going. Obviously, with my form increasing and the popularity, it seems to have picked up a lot more. And the walk-on was absolutely electric. Sometimes I do get on stage and I am quite emotional, to be honest, because it just literally take your breath away. Everyone shouting your name and singing this song. It's a surreal a surreal atmosphere, to be honest. And I think I'm sort of used to it now. I've done it quite a few times now where the last few times has not been as emotional because I've tried to keep me emotions in check. But definitely them first few times, and like we said, the Ali Pali last year was electric. I'd love the atmosphere to be like that again because they are my 12th man. They are the driving force behind my performances. In times of despair, they get me through games. So yeah, it's really important that they get behind me, and the Bunting mental army will go on.
It's a bit like the Cop at Anfield, I guess, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, no, of course. And obviously, there's been games this season when Liverpool have not played well. The crowd cheers up and we score a goal, and that's exactly what it's like in darts. There'll be times when you're not going to go to the board every throw and throw your best, but if you can do it a lot more than you don't do it, then you can win a game. So even in the bad scores, if the crowd's still behind you and they pull you through and help you produce your best, that's what I want to do. And to do it in front of a crowd at Ali Pali will be special even again.
Brilliant. Just one more question from me, Stephen, away from darts. Can Liverpool see it out and win the Premier League in Arne Slot's first season?
Yeah, I honestly believe so. I think we're not playing our best, but obviously we're getting good results. But teams around us seem to be really struggling. So yeah, we've just got to keep doing what we're doing. I'm a bit behind Jamie Carragher, what he said with Salah. I think he is a bit selfish coming out with comments like that, especially when we've got Real Madrid and Man City coming up. And we should be fully focused on that. But I can understand the frustration. Obviously, we as fans want to see the best players signed on for our club, and Mo Salah is a tip-top athlete who could go probably another 3-4 years. He definitely deserves that contract. So I hope the club behind the scenes can sort that out, and then yeah, it's full focus on the title and the Champions League.
Stephen, as always, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us.
No problem. Thank you.
Good luck at the Worlds.
Cheers, mate.